100 plus to collect.
These superheroes and villains may look small, but they pack big-time action. Whether you flick, stack, spin, or attack to battle your friends for stunt supremacy, these guys are up for any challenge.
Battle online at bonkazonks.com.
Ask a parent before going online. Website available for a limited time only.
MarvelKids.com.
Welcome, dear listeners, to our podcast. Jeff and Rick present Unpacking the Power of Power Pack,
where we journey through each issue of comics that include a member of the most underrated Marvel series from the 80s while drinking beer.
Analyzing awesome and amazing adjacent adolescent adventures and absorbing alcohol.
I am Jeff.
And I am Rick.
Random banter was regarded in ancient Egypt as the organic motor of the body and also the seat of intelligence, an important religious and spiritual symbol. Random banter time, buddy. Talk to me, tell me tall tales and tantalizing tidbits of trivia today.
I wasn't really listening, but are you talking about the Ankh?
I'm talking about the heart.
Oh, the heart. Okay. The heart is very important in this. And it's not just the heart of rock and roll either.
I now have this song in my head. Thank you for doing that to me today.
You are so welcome.
Yes, because the heart is the seat of intelligence, and that plays a part in Wakandan history.
Bum, 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 bum. Dun, 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 dun. I am horrible at music, but I'm sure that you know what that fanfare means because it is 2024, it is the summer, and that means it is time to watch sports. That's right, the Olympics are back in town, and it is on our house, and we are just all in on Simon Biles and the swimming and Paris and all of the fantastic, wonderful sports. I'll tell you right here and now, last night I got absolutely sucked into surfing. I couldn't tell you anything about how you would even try to gauge surfing and put point value on it. But after watching for a little while, I all of a sudden realized how they gave points out in surfing. And also, it was chill, man. It was so chill. Just really chill watching surfers cut a sweet wave. But there was a moment last night where my wife was not allowed to talk to me because I had to watch my favorite Summer Olympic sports, and nobody can talk to me or interrupt me while I watch the best sport that Summer Olympics can provide.
Beach volleyball.
Women's beach volleyball, buddy.
I wasn't trying to go that route, but yes, I understand why.
For some reason, I have less interest in the male. I don't know. It's just me. I think that the women are far superior athletes in beach volleyball.
I fully agree.
Yes.
I have watched none of the Olympics. I know it exists. I know there's a little bit of controversy going on, and I know that USA's won some medals. And that
the controversy is on the opening thing, but there's always going to be controversy. Yeah. Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah. People are going to grump.
Hey, I'll tell you what else is awesome about women's beach volleyball. They've got the volleyball setup for it right outside the Eiffel Tower, and they do it at night, and it is absolutely awesome because you got this beautiful.
That's sweet.
It looks like it's like sun just out on that pitch where they're doing all the sand and the volleyball, and then right overhead is the lit up Eiffel Tower. Chef's kiss, chef's kiss, chef's kiss.
Okay, that's really cool. That I may need to check that out just for that. That is amazing.
It is wonderful. I'm watching it for the cultural value, honey.
Of course you are. I'm trying to think of other activities that they could have in icons. Like, what would you do in front of the Louvre?
In front of the Louvre, you would do... let's see here. The high jump, jumping over that glass pyramid.
Oh, and then they would have you next to it, and then they could go like, you're this high up.
In front of Rodin's garden, probably doing discus. Because, thinker.
That's got some stuff. I like it. Yeah, they could just give you a tourist tour of France and just put cool Olympic things in front of really cool landmarks. I like it. That'd be great.
I like it. It's fun. Anyway, it's not very geeky. It's not very whatever. It's just what we are doing right now.
Still, very neat. I like it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not watching the Summer Olympics due to no reason other than that I'm not. I'm sure I'll catch some at some point or get a highlight reel. But I did just get back from a trip up to Seattle. Me and the family went up there for about a week and went troll hunting. There is a Scandinavian artist that goes around the world and makes like 18, 28 foot tall sculptures of trolls that are actually really kind of adorable looking, made out of recycled wood, and just kind of blends them into the environment, the natural environment that he's at. And they're just really cool. And there's one in Beaverton that we've been to several times, and then there is 5 up in the Seattle area. And so we went troll hunting. We got to 3 of them up there and just really enjoyed the time, and then spent an evening visiting with some friends that live up that way. And another day we went to Point Defiance Zoo in Tacoma, which was wonderful. It was really, really nice. So just got back from a trip doing that, but yeah, it was being a troll hunter.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
A lot of fun. It was a good time with the family.
Yeah, good time with family. That's always appreciated. It means that, well, yes and no. It means that they're going to continue to talk to you, and that could be negative.
It's pluses and minuses. It really is the pluses and negatives with the family when they want to be invested in you.
Yeah, if you just get in your car and drive off and disappear for a little bit, they may stop calling.
It's true. I just need to leave the phone at home.
Yeah. I'm not giving you any ideas. I'm just making conversation.
I know. It's just there's no point to this conversation other than it is just a free-form thought process.
Just chit-chat.
Hey, did you know? It's just talk.
Yeah.
Just talking.
All right, Jeff, why don't you give me a 2-sentence replay of last episode, sir?
No one competent is available, so Johnny Storm is tasked with being a substitute teacher for the Future Foundation, where he promptly throws in the teaching towel and takes the kids to the negative zone. When they get there, he finds out that some of his kingdom is in active rebellion and that they demand free elections, so Johnny gives democracy the go-ahead, which allows everyone to vote, and that leads to the election of a nihilist as the new leader of the negative zone. Now that the Johnny really should have just wheeled out a TV VCR combo and let the kids watch The Secret of Nim. 2-sentence replay is over. Why don't you give me a beer and tell us what our Power Pack pick is?
My pleasure, my friend. Because you have been troll hunting, I think it's only proper that I give you a beer. I'm not sure what one has to do with the other. I'm just making chit-chat. Why don't you reach in that little bag that I gave you and find out what Santa brought you this year.
I think if I was going to actually go troll hunting, I would need several of these brown little bags and drink the contents to make it seem like a good idea. So here we go. It is Grains of Wrath. Wrath Premium, American Light Lager. This is a nice tan-based whiskey bottle kind of look at thing. It's got a really cracked out skull with some ornamentation on it and a couple of spike ball head piercings in there. Maybe they're flails. They're flails is what they are. Yeah, it's 2 flails wrapped around the skull, and it's got just a variety of things behind it and just some ornamentation on this very weathered skull. This is pretty great. But why, oh why, would the Grains of Wrath be here? Why, oh why, oh why? Oh, I know why, because I had to, I'll be honest, I was burning some time to remember what comic we were covering. And that's because there's some undead in this. There's Anubis, the god of the dead, and some skeletons that are walking around. So there's some skulls, a skull on the can, and skulls in the comic.
That would do it. There is some wrath that one party holds against a few other parties, so that's in there as well. This is the Wrath Premium by Grains of Wrath Brewery. Light, crushable American-style light lager, crisp but divey, 4% ABV. It is a lager. It smells like wheat. It looks like wheat. It is just clear and very golden.
I'm laughing because I looked at the can a little bit further to come up with the story time on it. I'm not going to say it, but it's "Don't be an a-hole, recycle" is the story time on the can.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yes, it does. It surprised me. It caught me off guard. But yeah, that is very much a lager. That is a bubbly, pale, straw-colored beverage. Mm-hmm. Very, very transparent, very clear. Nice little idealized beer head on the top of it. Smell of it is light lager.
Wheat.
It's
a light lager. It's a very tasty light lager.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually a very nice lager. I go back and forth on lagers. This one has a very nice flavor.
This is a nice summer drink. It is light, clear, no artificial flavors in there.
No.
Nice little bit of a taste of that wheat that's in there. It's not biting on the back of your throat at all. It's cold. It's enjoyable.
Wow. I'm not going to lie. I think this might be the best American lager that I've had.
Yeah.
Wow. This is really good.
So this weekend I went out and got my hair cut, and the barbershop I went to offered me a beer while I was getting my hair cut. Sure. They handed me a Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Ah, good old PBR.
I mean,
old school drinking.
Whatever. Okay. So that just kicked in my head, and I'm like, okay, I was drinking that, and it was fine. It was a PBR. It's whatever.
It's exactly what it is.
I'm now hating that PBR because I'm thinking this is what it should be.
This
is exactly what it should be.
I mean, don't get me snobbishly wrong. I have drank many a PBR in my day.
Sure.
However, not a really good beer.
No.
This is quite a good beer. This is very good. This would make a PBR pale in comparison. Yes.
Yeah. Now, the cost of this one beer would probably be the same cost as like a 6-pack of PBR.
Well, that's the reason why people drink PBR. Right. When you can go and get a half rack for a $5, you're pretty good.
No, this is enjoyable. I like this. This is very nice, very refreshing, very easygoing.
Yep.
It's something that you would want to drink if you were hanging out in the hot African sun.
Yeah, this is an amazing hot weather beer. Mm-hmm. It's that step over from water. You gotta hydrate, but I want to drink. Pile these two things together.
All right.
I can see pouring a lot of these down the old neck hole with on hot weather days. So yeah.
Speaking of two things that go great together, we've got actually many things that go great together. Hot weather, comic book, an African nation, beer, death. Let's get into it, shall we?
Death and finances.
Yes. It's life.
Elephant riding.
Not yet. Soon, soon, soon. But let's get to the opening credits for now. Jeff, please.
Fantastic Four, issue number 607, August 2012, Inert. Credits. Writer, Jonathan Hickman. Penciler, Giuseppe Camuncoli. Inker, Carl Kessel. Colorist, Paul Mounts. Letterer, Clayton Cowles. Editor, Tom Brevoort.
Featuring Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Women, Black Panther, both of them. We'll get to that. Storm, Franklin Richards, Valeria Richards, Dranken Man, V. Wu, Mick Tong, Artie, Bentley, and Alex Power.
I guess that we should start with some backstory, because some stuff has happened since we were here last.
Cool beans. Hit me up with the knowledge you have gained by reading a plethora of comic books leading up to this book.
Right. Well, Dr. Doom came on an undiplomatic trip to Wakanda and really put the smack down on our favorite Black Panther. The injured T'Challa stepped down as king and as Black Panther to let his sister Shuri pick up both belts. Since Doom took a good supply of vibranium as a victory trophy, the rare Wakandan metal that is the basis of their economy, T'Challa did some science and made it and most of Wakandan vibranium useless.
Nice recap, and very similar to what was on the first page of the book.
Plagiarism is such an ugly word to use, Rick.
I never said plagiarism.
I said it was an ugly word! Moving on, though, the Fantastic Four has been officially invited to visit the African nation and are being given a royal welcome by T'Challa and his wife, Storm.
Wait, what?
Oh, we're at the point in comic history where Storm from the X-Men is married to T'Challa.
Nice!
Reed and Sue have brought along the Future Foundation with them, because extreme field trips are awesome! See our previous episode where the kids learned about democracy.
Okay, I'm a bit annoyed that this does not resemble my trip with a bunch of middle schoolers to Costa Rica.
What? No private plane, meeting with royalty, and superpowers?
None of those things. My life is a mockery of the fantasy I should be living in.
Keep dreaming those little dreams, little buddy. Greetings are exchanged between the formally dressed superheroes. Sue and Aurora tease each other a little bit, and Reed explains the extra baggage that he brought along, which of course is children.
The Future Foundation are looking for new experiences. Alex finds this neat, Valeria wants to talk about etiquette, but Franklin is not here for extra credit for some smarty-pants school or politeness. He just wants to ride the elephants.
Oh man, don't we all, Franklin? Don't we all?
But then there's Bentley. Dear sweet Bentley. He just wants to trash talk the imposing, buff, and awesome T'Challa in front of his back and on his own turf.
To give the little pest some credit, he really did not notice the former ruler standing there.
This would have been a great opportunity for the artist formerly known as Black Panther to point out that 59 issues ago, he cracked open a big old can of whoop-butt on the adult version of Bentley, aka the Wizard. But instead, he just imposes his presence on the little boy and promises to make sure he gets to ride on the elephant too.
Hope the elephant sits on the twerp.
Anyway, welcome to Wakanda.
Interlude time.
Home of the fighting gods.
We are back in the past for a couple of pages to check on the antics of the Egyptian pantheon. Anubis has smacked around Amon-Ra and has him enslaved with a couple of skeletons.
Bummer for the dog-faced boy, because old Birdbrain knew this would happen and yanked out his own heart to give it to Bast to hide it, like a good kid he would.
Now, I'm not a believer in ancient Egyptian gods, but I also do not like tempting fate. How about we not taunt that which we do not know about?
Nah, my way's more fun. Back in the present, T'Challa is having a walk and talk with Reed. The Wakandan is a little upset that the kids are here. He really wanted to have some adult time with Reed.
Rick, phrasing?
No, wait. They have to get through some royal shenanigans and pomp, but then T'Challa has a favor to ask Reed.
I mean, I'm just really feeling uncomfortable here with your phrasing.
But Reed is not. He thinks he knows what this is all about. Wakanda has just tanked its greatest resource, and the economy is going down to meet a porcelain finish. All is well, though. He brought the smart kids to help think the country out of debt, so T'Challa can thank him now or later after he swoons over his white savior.
Yeah, no. You see, the problem is Reed is thinking like a Westerner. T'Challa's people have been smarter than all of them since humans invented smartness. When T'Challa came to power, he took the pretty impressive treasury of the Little Kingdom and began to make some real money with it.
I mean, how much money could he have possibly?
In the trillions, through a diversified portfolio that includes buying up U.S. debt. Plus, he has a pretty impressive stamp and comic book collection, which includes a full Power Pack run in it.
Okay, fair. But why is Reed here?
There's something dark, ancient, and dangerous that T'Challa needs to face, and he needs a sacrificial Reed.
Ah, wait, what?
The interlude time!
Home of the fighting cats.
We get a couple more pages of the Wakandan past. Bast has taken Amun-Ra's heart and squeezed it into a well. The well belongs to a group of ancient people who bow and do not protest or question why this pale, topless catwoman is destroying their only source of drinking water.
Good choice. The blood or knowledge or power is a gift, but it is a gift with a price. In order for one nation to be great, another must be less. And as Bast paints a bloody panther face on one of the men, we can guess who is getting the plus end of this bargain stick.
The next village over that worshipped and raised mice is going to be really upset that once again they chose poorly.
Let's get back to the present day. There is a state dinner occurring. Shuri sits on a dais, overlooking the feast, flanked by two Dora Milaje. Below are Storm, T'Challa, Reed, and Sue.
On the opposing lengthwise tables, we have other honored guests. And the Future Foundation kids, most of whom are playing with hats that look like different animal heads, because they think they're in Disney World. Alex is watching along and laughing.
Speaking of which, one of my daughter's friends is taking her family to Disney World today, and she said we could go. I was halfway through pricing out the trip, looking at cheap airline tickets that were leaving today, when my wife walked in and confiscated my credit cards. That was rude of her.
That seems like a logical and sane course of action for her to take, honestly.
Traitor.
Back to the state dinner, where I'm not a traitor. Everybody is enjoying themselves, but we're still getting echoes of T'Challa's earlier talk with Reed. They took the knowledge and went cosmopolitan. They skipped over many of those boring ages that the Western civilizations went through. They built walls to keep the riffraff out.
Yeah, it's nice to have the cheat code early in the game.
True that. But with every cheat, there comes a price. In this case, The Walking Dead.
Wait. Are Negan and Grimes going to show up?
Not that Walking Dead, my friend. More like Egyptian skeletons on the payroll of Anubis.
Oh, right. That heart thing was the knowledge Anubis wanted. Oh, we should mention that skeletons did just attack this fancy dinner.
Really bad choice on the part of the Bone Brigade. Not only do you have a new active Black Panther and her guards, but you have the prior one as well. And his superpowered friends, and Omega-level mutant wife, and a pack of sugared-up smarty-pant kids.
Quarterback is toast!
Apparently. According to the floating dialogue of T'Challa, this is just a normal thing that happens now. Sun comes up, rain falls, plague of locusts, skeletons attack, sun goes down.
Oh, and apparently this is why T'Challa asked Reed to come?
But when did the Fantastic Four do exorcisms?
Other duties as required.
Okay. The collection of calcified corpses has been contained. Now, T'Challa wants to have a chat with the entity that has been sending these annoyances to his front door.
He and Reed suit up and get a gauntlet of guards to let them know that their thoughts and prayers are going with them.
Oh, joy.
Even better, T'Challa takes Reed down a deep pit full of panther statues, ancient hieroglyphs, and stacks of old National Geographic magazines.
Those things end up everywhere. How? Why? Print is dead. How do they keep showing up?
My wife is a subscriber. We get them delivered to our house.
You're the one!
Anyway, Reed is fascinated by this journey of knowledge, but is a little shocked to discover a giant statue of Amun-Ra.
To be fair, most people are shocked to find giant statues of Amun-Ra, or in fact, anybody, really.
To be continued. But first, let's talk about this lovely, lovely cover where we have, well, let's not cut corners here. We have Black Panther man-spreading all of his Black Panther awesomeness to everybody as he sits upon a golden panther throne with gold highlights behind him. And you know that what he's saying, you can hear the Black Panther voice just saying, "What's up?"
I see you looking at my throne and my man spread. Black Panther here, just sitting around, just looking awesome. Yeah, he looks great.
So what's this issue about? Black Panther.
Black Panther, honestly, it's really, yeah.
Although, what is interesting is that we've got Black Panther on the cover, but we get in and we find out, hey, T'Challa is not the king, he's not sitting on the throne anymore, and he's not Black Panther. So this is very much a what was and what is missing, and part of some of the backstory. So this is a throwback, not an actual time.
Yeah, but when you think of Black Panther, you think about him sitting on the throne of Wakanda.
Oh, sure.
It's kind of along the lines, I don't care who's Black Panther, who's the rightful ruler, it's T'Challa. In my eyes, in my mindset, perpetually. So,
you know what kind of would be in a cooler picture, and I'm just kind of spitballing this right here, is if you see just a little bit of the throne, and you see somebody sitting in it. It would be Shuri, but she's sitting in it, and you just see part of it, and you're seeing Black Panther with one hand on the throne, holding his mask. So you see T'Challa just standing there holding the mask with his hand on the throne. He's front and center. The throne, which is obviously being occupied by another Black Panther, is right over here.
Yep.
That would have been a much more awesome picture.
That would be really, really cool. That would have been really neat. I fully agree. I agree. No, that's awesome. That would have made a really good one. This is a great cover.
Oh, it's a great cover.
Don't get us wrong.
I'm thinking just...
But I like your idea. I like your thought.
Tying it a little bit more. Just he's still supporting his sister, but he has thoughts.
Yep. He's still there. He is a presence. Shuri never said anything. Shuri did sit on a throne, but it was the T'Challa show.
Well, she doesn't need to say anything. She's showing strength.
Yep, she's the Black Bolt of Wakanda.
We've got a very deep dive into Wakanda. A little bit of an exploration about where the power comes from, and also a little bit of retconning some of Wakanda's history. And this is the introduction of something that's going to be kind of big going forward, kind of something that wasn't necessarily known. And I think that this is one of the first times that they've really introduced the lore of Black Panther and where they get their power from.
Right. It is interesting to have it be Bast, or it was possibly the Panther God. I'm not sure. I can't remember in the Wakandan history. And they didn't say in this it was a Panther Goddess, possibly. Not sure. But delivering Amun-Ra's heart to a tribe that was in Wakanda. And now she could have delivered this to any tribe, but she brought it to the Wakandans. And what's interesting on that is it's the combo pack of, she basically said, you are being granted Amun-Ra's intelligence. You were going to be head and shoulders above all of your neighbors. You were going to have this intelligence. And then couple that with the fact that they had the vibranium meteorite mountain in their backyard, where you have something that would be, they're going to be technologically superior, and they are also given a resource that is going to be technologically superior to anything else that anybody else is going to have. And so comboing those together really made Wakanda the mighty place that it is. Because it wasn't just one boon, it was two different boons that coincided and worked together really good. They had amazing synergy.
We also have with this, though, the introduction, and we're going to get into a lot more next issue, but the cost that's associated with this also includes some other things that we're going to be finding out about. So Hickman's really introducing a lot more lore that he can play with and he can use in different things that are coming up, which is very cool. And it's something that I think a little bit has been touched on, but it really would be cool to have it mined a bit more into potential more MCU content, which would be awesome as well. What did you think about how he's not really giving Reed anything? He's like, yeah, I wanted you to come here to do something. Really bearing the lead story is like, oh, by the way, part of the reason I'm inviting you here is because we've got a plague of skeletons that are attacking us, and I kind of like you to help deal with that. How about a little bit of a heads up prior to them hitting the state dinner?
Yeah, because that was the ridiculous part, because T'Challa contacts Reed and says, hey, can you come over here? I want to talk to you about something. Not saying what. So now Reed's in his head, and he's like, they just lost their big economic strong point. So obviously they're floundering. They're going to be third world. They're not going to have any money. We can take care of their infrastructure and their financial needs by putting them on like a payroll plan kind of thing. We can help you out and get you back on your feet, Wakanda. And yeah, T'Challa's like, yeah, that's not why you're here.
No.
And we'll talk about it, but hey, you brought those kids. Not a big fan of that, but it's okay. I need to talk to you about something, but we'll do it after the royal dinner. We'll go through all the pomp and circumstance before we get into the nitty-gritties of things. Yeah, it was very kind of frustrating because it wasn't until the very end of the comic he fully divested why he brought Reed there, which was, we've got an undead problem. I need to go into this well, and I need you to be my second because you're the only other person on the planet that I think can keep up with what's going on here.
Yeah.
He's even a little bit dismissive of Reed because he's like, yeah, I'm picking you because I think you should be able to keep up with what's going on, but still, like, you might not get it. So, yeah, T'Challa was burying the lead left, right, and center.
Yeah. Just need to be a little bit more open with these kinds of things first, Reed.
Yeah.
Don't just, we want you to... Come on, man. Tell a brother what's happening.
Exactly. Yeah. I understand why Reed was kind of into the concept of like, oh, they're in financial straits. We can help them. We can fix that up.
But that's not even a problem, though. It's like he comes there for that reason, and then it is quickly like, nah, that's not a problem. Here's how rich I am. I'm rich, okay? Move on. So what's the real problem?
It left Reed guessing.
Yeah. Going and really looking and seeing what we came out of... Avengers Academy back to the Fantastic Four and the very light touch writing style that Hickman's got. I kind of miss being told what's happening and having to really wait for it to be drawn out. I do like Hickman's style, but sometimes it's a little bit like, oh, this is frustrating. I want to know what's happening now.
That's the thing, is there is a difference in writing styles because it's nice being spoon-fed a lot of information.
Yeah.
Again, I like Hickman's style. I like reading his things, but I like reading his things in huge chunks.
Yeah.
Because then you can get the actual story of what's happening, because otherwise it's just kind of a little meander and a little bit of thing, and some stuff happens, but nothing really happens. And then a lot of his secondary characters really have no contribution. Again, the FF is there, the Future Foundation. I know Bentley was insulting and wanted to ride elephants, and Franklin was there and didn't want to do smart guy stuff. He wanted to ride elephants. I'm like, awesome.
Alex laughed.
Alex laughed, and he also thought it was neat. He was like, wow, did you know the Wakandans discovered the atom 100 years before people thought they did? You have all these background characters that just exist, but they're not really contributing anything.
Right.
Yeah.
I do like the ancient history piece of it. I do like to see what's going on. I like finding out a little bit more about what's been going on with part of the Marvel universe that you don't really see with Wakanda. It's nice touching back there. There's a giant fight with Doom that occurred, shifting of power structure, like we said. And the one thing I always forget about is Storm and T'Challa being married.
I never forget about that, but also I still don't understand how they got together, and then I know that they got apart.
Yeah, they did, but there still is a respect that they have for each other. I know in reading Hickman's run on X-Men, the Krakoa era of X-Men, there was a few times where Storm had to cross paths with T'Challa. In fact, I think it was during the gathering of swords, she needed to get a specific sword from T'Challa.
Oh,
and she kind of had to go and more or less take it.
But yeah, she was going back to her Cairo roots of being a thief, yes, as a total side thing. I thought it was interesting, where she breaks in and steals it and does all the things, and T'Challa's just like, you could have asked for it.
Yeah.
And she's like, I couldn't because I didn't want to talk to you.
But it's cool seeing them again. Like I said, I forget about it just because it's not in front of me, and Storm is doing so many other things, and there's a lot more to Storm's life than this, and that's why I forget about it. But it's nice to be able to touch in and see a little bit of that relationship. I like that she's here. I like that she's part of this. I know that in the next issue, we're going to get into a lot more with her, which is going to be kind of cool. But it's very cool to be part of that and have that here. Plus, it's also sweet seeing her as a queen, Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
T'Challa might not be a king, but she's still the queen, baby. All right.
Yeah, she's still a queen. She's a goddess, and she's dating to be queen.
Pretty much. Anything else you wanted to touch on?
Nothing that I can think of at the moment.
Then let's move on to our final thoughts. Let's get into our gallery of greatness. What piece of art do we need to go ahead and add to the lovely front hall of the Wakandan castle? Something that people can see as they're coming into the great feast hall. I'd like to go ahead and start off with the first image of this book, and I would like to say my backup joke one, and it's the first image, the first panel, and all I gotta say is, ThunderCats, ho!
Oh, interesting, because my version of that is Thunder, 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 ThunderCats! Because, and again, I looked up the ThunderCats symbol, and it is slightly different, but flipped. So yeah,
whatever.
It is the ThunderCats head. Yeah, it is a Black Panther head on a red circular background. If you look at ThunderCats, you know the symbol. It's this.
And you see it throughout this book. I saw it many different places.
Oh, it's all over the buildings. It's everywhere.
But the first one here, the reason I picked this first one is because it looks like the ThunderCats mansion on the Thundera. It's like yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I know. Yeah, that's, again, why I picked the exact same one, because I was going to pick some of the other symbols. There's like, oh, this one has 2 in there and this. Yep. And I was like, nope, got to go with the first one because it is just...
We had the same thought process on that
same exact process. It would, yeah, absolutely. So I'm glad you picked up on that as well, because that is hilarious.
That was your backup joke one?
That was my backup joke one, yes.
All right. Then I would like to go ahead and tell you my top joke one. And this is later on, after everybody's landed, before the feast. And we have Reed and T'Challa. They're walking down this lovely little area here. And I just want to know, when can I meet Chitara? Because... Sorry, I'm not done with this yet. That's what Reed was asking T'Challa there. They're walking down this beautiful sky walkway, and there's 2 ThunderCats symbols on the far side there. And he's just asking, when can I meet Chitara?
Yeah, when can I meet Chitara?
When can I meet her?
And how is it that you no longer bear the mantle of Panthro?
Yeah. All right, what is your top joke one?
My top joke one is on page 20 of Marvel Unlimited, and I call it, "We are the most technologically advanced people on the planet, so have a glow stick." It's the middle panel, and it is Reed and T'Challa have just gone through a big tech vault door and are going into an area that's going into a primitive stone case down. And they're going to illuminate it with giant glow sticks. They just took the big glow sticks and cracked them and are going to, not flashlights, not cool tech robots, literally just, it looks like glow sticks.
Yeah.
And it cracked me up.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with you. I like to think that they're not just chemical glow sticks, that they're actually some kind of mechanical thing. Although, on the other hand, they are going to some ancient places, and they don't know if magic's involved. So how good is technology going to be? Maybe having a chemical glow stick is actually a better idea.
Maybe.
That's just my thought. All right. My backup good art was what I call the Charge of the Bone Brigade. And it's the skeletons rushing into the lovely dinner that's going on. It's pretty sweet. You got a whole series of skeletons. They're all wearing kind of these Egyptian head coverings. It's just cool. The lead one's got like an eye patch over his skeleton eye. It's very sweet looking, very cool looking.
It is a neat looking one. It's a really good one. I like that. My backup best one is on page 8. It's the bottom panel, and I call it Bast, or possibly the Panther Goddess. I don't know fully what it's called. But it looks great because it's got she's being flanked by 2 giant panthers, and it's just a red lit sun of a sky, and it just looks really cool. I like it a lot.
That is my top good art, and all I gotta say is I am not saying that Neil Gaiman wrote this book, but there is Bast with 2 giant cats. So yeah. What do you have for your top best one?
My top one is on page 22. It's the final splash page. I call it Our Journey Begins, because that is what T'Challa tells Reed as they're standing there with their glow sticks looking up at a giant bust statue of Amun-Ra.
That's a good one. I liked Bast holding the heart, the bleeding heart. That was just took out of a liberal's chest.
Oh. Here's your free healthcare.
Yeah. All right, let's get in and talk about Rubber and Glue Moment. Was the best or most childish insult, much like what I just said. But what was in this book that was childish? Probably something about Franklin saying, "I don't do the homework for your stupid smart school." That's a little bit of a burn. That was a little bit of a burn right there. I like that one.
I'm just here to ride the elephants. That's my top one. That is my top Rubber and Glue. I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wonderful. My backup one, though, is just shortly thereafter, where it's Val and Bentley talking, and Val's like, hey, it's really easy, just to the royals that just say Your Majesty and stuff, and Bentley's all, don't listen to her, Franco. She obviously didn't do the homework either. T'Challa isn't even in charge here anymore. Dr. Doom kicked his butt. Twice. They lost all their natural resources, and his sister Shuri took his throne. That dude's not even Your Majesty. He's not even a king. Whoa! As he bumps into T'Challa.
Then T'Challa kind of owns him a little bit just by standing there, which is also nice, too. I like that. My top one is the entire speech, and I'm not going to go through all of it. I'll just go through the last little bit of it, where T'Challa is going through and explaining to Reed how wrong he is and how rich they are. And today our national reserves currently stand in the trillions of dollars Wakanda thrives. We've actually been aggressively buying American debt for the past few years. And by the way, you're welcome for that.
You're welcome, yep.
Not only just telling Reed, like, no, you came here for absolutely the wrong reasons, but also, we kind of own your country, so...
Yeah. First of all, you're not the white. You're not the white savior. Mistaken on every regard.
Yeah. Let's get into Parent of the Year award, the Reed Richards Award for Good Parenting. Reed's got it, this one. This is my thought on it. Hey, kids, let's do a field trip to a country that has just had its king overthrown and who I believe is on the verge of an economic collapse. Oh, I was invited because the old king needs my help for some mysterious thing. Should be safe.
Yeah.
That's my impersonation of Reed at this one. So...
Yeah. You just learned about the birth of a nation with democracy appearing in the negative zone. Now let's watch a society fall into decay in this nation who's lost all its money. Oh, this will be a hoot.
Yeah. So
I get it. I fully get it.
Yeah, that's my... Reed, take your award. Thank you very much. What do you got?
I am going to go for the good version of that, of the Reed Richards Award, and I'm going to give it to T'Challa.
Okay.
Because he did what good parents do and kept his kids in the dark. He didn't explain anything that was going on to him. But also, because he could have been a lot crueler to, like, Bentley and Reed, but he was kind of calmly explaining situations eventually. He was keeping things back, but then he wasn't like holding Bentley, Bentley responsible for his own thing. He's like, yeah, we'll make sure that you get some elephant rides. We can do that, kid. It's just like, I'm not going to be offended by you for saying things that are true in a rude way. And I don't need you to loan me money. We're fine. So I saw him being a calming influence and calmly and delicately explaining things to people. So
all right.
I thought he was a good parent for that.
Okay. Let's get into the most popular and the most shunned. Who's the best and who is the worst in this issue? Who you got for worst?
Reed, because of the reasons that you had said. I just couldn't put him in bad parent, but I could put him in a bad house guest.
Okay. All right. Fair enough, I guess. My worst was Bast. So here's my reasoning on this one. Yo, thanks for giving us the knowledge that you were supposed to hide. Thanks for the curse. Really appreciate it. Aces.
I could see that. That one is tricky because that might, hiding it, the knowledge of the gods amongst a lesser race might have been the best place to hide it.
Might have been, but oh, by the way, there's a curse that comes with it.
Yeah. Because Animus is hunting for this, and he's got a bunch of undead that are going to be hunting for it for him.
Yeah. Who do you have as the best?
There wasn't a lot of players going and doing anything in this, so I got a double dip, and I'm giving it to T'Challa.
Okay. All right. I can see it. I can understand it. I did not choose T'Challa. I chose Storm. Because she's the queen.
Because she's the queen, and she was great with Sue, and Sue's all like, oh, Your Majesty, and, Aurora's all like, no, Sue, it's never Your Majesty, it's always, for you, it's always Aurora, we're friends, don't play this game.
No, you're right, there was not a lot of movement, not a lot of action, not a lot to see who was the best or the worst, but I was looking at it as like, I really like seeing Storm in this, and presence. T'Challa's got presence, it's his country and all, but Storm is just there like, I don't need presence. I'm Storm. Yeah.
She's very much of the, yes, I am of Wakanda now, but I am also of the world, and Wakanda is a very small portion of who I am.
And like Jonathan Hickman said, I guess, Storm's queen, that's minor. Let's make her president of our galaxy sometime. Yeah, we should do that. All right, let's get into top grades. We need to evaluate this issue against the other issues that have a member of Power Pack in them. Of course, we've got top of the list, The Funeral of Johnny Storm, number 1. Down at spot number 20, we've got the flashback episode from Avengers Academy number 28. Down at spot number 40, Runaways are told by a Gert from the future to beware of Victor. That's Runaways Volume 2, number 1. Down at spot number 60, Old Atlantis is destroyed and Reed comes clean with Sue. FF number 5. And bottom, still the Loners number 3. What do you think about this one? This is very much a slow issue. Things are introduced, not much really happens.
It's an introduction issue. Well, let's look at one of the last ones that we did in Fantastic Four, which was Fantastic Four number 604. Frank makes Galactus' Herald. That's in spot 39.
That's a cool one. There's a lot going on with that.
Yeah, it's a cool one. We feel that's cooler than this, so that's going to drop this down below that then.
Yeah, actually, that was kind of something else I was looking at, is we have Runaways number 1. Introduction. Runaways are told by Gert that beware of Victor. Doom. We want to go down a little bit further than that. Spot number 44, we've got the FF number 16. This is after the big fight that occurred, and they're trying to rebuild and rebrand after the Celestial fight. Right below that, we've got New Warriors Volume 1, Annual 1, where Speedball does some dumb stuff. I think we're in the right area here. Below that, we've got Avengers Academy, we're Crosstown Rivals. We got inconsequential stuff here. I'm actually kind of going down a little bit more to probably between 46 and 47. 47, we've got the Avengers Solo 1 through 5, where Stryker Finesse have a mission.
I think that this is better than that.
I think so, but I kind of liked the
Crosstown Rivals was really good.
Yeah.
That touch football and everything that was going on with that, and the resolution of storylines and everything. It was fun. It was neat seeing all the schools just interact together, and the teachers basically just kind of flaking off eventually as they got tasered out of the game. Yeah, we could totally put that at the new 47.
All right, let's do that. Let's talk about some beer now. We have been drinking Wrath Premium from Grains of Wrath Brewery. I like this one.
Oh, it's great. I'm really enjoying it. It is a very easy to drink beer. It is a great beverage. It is cool. It is refreshing. It is not strongly flavored. It has a lovely lager flavor that isn't overpoweringly American lager.
Yeah.
It is a very finely done American light lager, and I think that light aspect of it is what's really selling it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. This is not for everybody. I get that completely. If you want something a little more challenging, if you want something more this, that, I get. But as far as just a nice, simple beer, sometimes you want just a nice, simple beer. And I can think of a lot of things that would be worse than this. I can't think of many things that would be better than this. I would like to give this a 4.5 myself.
Correct in all regards. I was going to give it the exact same thing. That's what I was going to interrupt you with. It's a 4.5 for me. It is a delightful beverage. I could see drinking this anytime and in great quantities and being quite pleased with it. You could be hunting for things with more flavors, more robust, more challenges, more like complexities. This is just really good. So yeah, 4.5 for me.
Agree.
That leads us to something that I would give 5 out of 5 to, which is Kids Perspective. And that's where Rick talks to his 13-year-old daughter, Carrie, about the issue that we just covered. So, Rick and Carrie, take it away.
Hello, Carrie.
Hello, Daddy.
How are you doing tonight?
Okay. And you?
Doing all right. Just recording with my favorite daughter, yeah?
That too.
We just finished reading Fantastic Four number 607, right?
Yep. It was a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. What do you think about this issue? Especially, what do you think about that cover? What do you think about that majestic cover on the front?
That's a pretty neat cover.
Just Black Panther sitting there, looking all...
cool.
Yeah.
Black Panther-y. Yep.
Yeah. Who is Black Panther? Who is the Black Panther right now?
Shuri.
That's right. She's also the...
Queen.
Uh-huh.
And her brother's not.
What else is interesting about T'Challa besides not being Black Panther and not being king at the moment?
He's being very historical.
Who's his wife?
Oh yeah, Storm.
Yeah. Were you expecting that?
No, I was pretty surprised. I was like, who is that? Oh. Because Storm's pretty recognizable, but I was kind of thinking it might be someone else. But it wasn't.
That's Storm from the X-Men. She is Black Panther's bride. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I didn't know that. When did that happen? I wasn't invited to the wedding.
Well, you were a baby. You didn't remember it.
Oh, yeah.
So, there's a lot that's going on here. We've got a lot of history that's happening. The history of Wakanda, right?
Yeah, and there was like a heart being pulled from a well. I didn't really like that.
Well, the heart was pulled from one god's chest and given to another god, and she hid it in a well.
Yeah.
And that well was owned by the tribe from...
I need to go back on that. Hold on.
What country are we talking about?
Wakanda?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, basically, the power of Black Panther and all of the things that Wakanda has been able to do, that's all been given by Bast, because she hid this other god's heart in their...
well.
Yes, in their land, basically. Yeah.
Wow. Someday, this Sphinx lady god will come over to us with a bleeding heart in her hands, and she's gonna find one of our wells and stick it in there, and then leave, and then come back, and we're gonna be really cool.
Yeah, that's the idea. But
I don't really want that to happen, actually. I'm okay with not being cool, actually. If I don't need to see that.
Being cool is cool. Everybody wants to be cool.
Yeah, but we're already cool.
All right, fair enough. But of course, being cool has consequences, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Part of that is the undead coming to try to take the heart back, or try to gain the power back, right?
Yeah, I also didn't really like that part. It has a lot of, dead things.
Yeah.
It's okay, it's not zombies, though, so...
No, they're not zombies. They're
skeletons.
Yeah.
Which are really close, but
No, they're past zombies.
Yeah, they don't have skin no more.
No, not really.
It's okay, they look cool.
Well, wait till you see the next issue. That's where things get really interesting.
I'm scared.
Don't be scared. We should mention, too, the kids are there, right?
Oh, yeah. They're doing so much.
Why have they come to Wakanda?
To be there. No, because they're smart and...
Yep, but why do the kids want to be there? Reed brought them there because they're smart, but what do the kids want to do while they're there?
Ride elephants and...
Yeah!
Which is not really recommended, because that's not good, but, of course they're kids, so they don't really care.
They're superhero kids. Riding elephants and other wild animals, that's awesome!
Also wearing animal heads.
They're masks. They're not real.
Thank goodness. Poor elephants!
Says the girl wearing headsets that have cat ears on them.
We don't talk about those.
Those are real cat ears. But perhaps we've said too much.
What else did you, let's see. Oh yeah, adventure. Yes, adventure.
That's all the questions I have for you right now. Thank you very much for your time, Carrie.
Welcome.
I love you.
Love you too.
I know, Carrie, Cats. It's a comic book filled with cats. Great cats. Great and great. So I'm sure you're quite happy to have seen this one.
Shout out time. We like to recognize those listeners that take some time to write in or to leave us a review for our show, to let us know that we are still doing this and people are still listening. So this is for episode 164, where we cover Avengers Academy number 68, Crosstown Rival.
Al Sedano and their podcast, Resurrections, and Adam Warlock and Thanos podcast.
Cindy Heineken.
Cullen Stapleton and their podcast, The Worst Comics Podcast Ever.
Hoover Jeremiah.
Jeremy Daw.
Matt Birdsey. And also, we'd like to thank those people that give us a little bit of cash to keep on doing our work, and that includes adorably astonishing and amazing Andrew Burns,
cheerfully cheeky and charming Char Logan,
challenging, cheesy, and chuckling Charles Gears,
destructive and devastatingly delightful Damian Witter,
dynamically dangerous and devious Doug Jones,
intelligent, interesting, and innovative Isaac Perry,
jesting, joking, and jovial Jeff Bollier,
just jealous and jeweled Jeremy Daw,
muscly, mighty, and meticulous Matthew Birdsey,
mythical and magnificent monologuing Matthew Laserwitz,
steely, salty, and steamy Sailor Bear Zodar,
sad and sickeningly silly Shag Matthews,
tyrannically terrifying and tame Tim Price,
way wordy and wobbly Waffles. Next issue, we are going to cover Fantastic Four number 608, City of the Dead.
Be sure to check out my daughter's comic strip on our website. Just do a search for Jeff and Rick Presents Tales of Tales.
And we have some merchandise available on Redbubble. Go to redbubble.com and search for Unpacking the Power of Power Pack.
Present is a bi-weekly self-produced podcast recording from a live studio audience in Portland, Oregon. If you would like to interact with us through the magic of the internet, you can do so through Blue Sky at Jeff and Rick Present, our Facebook page, Jeff and Rick Present, our email address, jeffandrickpresent, all one word, at gmail.com, or at our website, jeffandrickpresent.wordpress.com. Also, we got a YouTube channel at Jeff and Rick Present.
And if you would like to help support our show, we are on Patreon. You can find us at patreon.com, Jeff and Rick Present, all one word. We are also a proud supporter of the Hero Initiative, and we'll be donating 10% of our Patreon donations to this great cause. We encourage everyone to give what they can to this worthwhile organization that helps the creators who provide us with such great content. Go to heroinitiative.org to find out more.
Please rate and review us wherever you can. Tell your friends about us or share your love for us on social media.
And as always, we want to thank the powerful people in our packs.
My wife Cindy and our daughter Carrie.
My fiancée Hillary and our daughter Aurora. We love you. Until next time, costumes off.
Our theme music is 80s Action by Kevin MacLeod. Also featured in this episode is Rust Rebellion. All music is found at Incompetech.com and is licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license. I'm back on the saddle again.
What these bonka zonks need is more zonks.
Bye.
Flanked by 2 Dora Milaje. Milaje?
Man, I was hoping I wasn't going to have to pronounce it either.
Flanked by 2 Dora Milaje.
Bye.
My wife is